Good morning, friends. Welcome to another day at Honey Apple Farm. It's been a while since I've done a garden tour, although I guess technically I did a garden tour last week when we talked about the damage from the derecho, but I thought it'd be nice to give you guys a garden tour. So, where to begin? I guess we begin here, since this is what I'm pointing at. Our sweet peas along here are mostly gone, but this one over here in the corner that is shaded seems to be doing fine. And as we look down the main south fence line here, you guys notice there is some stuff actually growing up along the fence line. It's not completely bare. I'm amazed. Sweet peas are cool weather plants, and it has been up in the mid-90s. And some of them are ticking along. Some of them have given up the ghost, but some of them are doing just fine. They're growing, they're getting tall. And isn't this a glorious sight? So I did have a purple one over on the east fence line where I started a little while ago, but it didn't last very long. This one's been open for several days, and I love the white on either side of them. That's very classy. Some of our sunflowers planted down here are coming up. A lot of them did not, but a few of them are making it, and I'm just going to take what we can get. And then this is definitely the star of the show. This is the sweet pea that's been blooming for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it is just having a grand old time. I don't know what it is down there. Something in the soil it must love. And then our wildflower bed, y'all. This is one of them that I tied up from the storm. It was all the way on the ground. It seems to be doing okay, although I think I need to come out. Right now it's tied up with the soft tape, and I do need to come out and put a rope on that because I think that's going to be helpful in the long run. Exciting new things here in the bed. There are some zinnias coming in. That's what these little guys here are along the front, which is very exciting. I don't offhand remember which of the zinnia varieties I planted in here, but they're all going to be glorious. This is mulberry, white mulberry, says the plant app. So we're going to let that come in and see if we can get some mulberry going in here. And then this has been ticking along for a while. I'm hoping this is the celosia. There's two little fuzzy things that haven't gotten any bigger, but they're still there. And then the other day, yesterday when I was out, I don't know if you guys can see it in the early morning light. Do you see that little orange patch there? See if I can zoom in with any kind of... Yeah. That is butterfly weed. It's a type of milkweed, which I have not ever seen in our yard before, and I'm really excited about it, because so far it is the only milkweed that has come up in this back patch, which is awesome. I wish I could show you guys while I'm zoomed in, but I don't think I can. There is, you can just barely see it, there is a sunflower on the other side of the fence, and it is this gorgeous deep red all the way through with no yellow on it, except maybe at the very center, and I just can't get a good shot of it. But the other thing that's exciting, here, let me zoom out a little bit. The other thing that's exciting is our little guys are starting to bloom here, and we have, oops, we gotta go over here. Look, there's another one of the evening suns, and this guy over here is an evening sun, and he has probably about a dozen heads open on him, all varying colors. I love those evening suns. They're gorgeous. So yeah, there's that guy there. And then, if you guys want to see something funny, check this guy out. So this is the huge one, yeah? The one that's been growing up and up and up and up. It was vertical before the derecho, and now it's, 45 degrees. For the hugeness of the stalk, it is at least, let's see, that fence is 7 feet tall. If I stood on top of the fence, yeah, it's at least 12 feet tall, because I'm 5 foot. Look at how tiny the flower is in comparison. But there are probably 24 buds waiting to open all the way down. So what it lacks in robustness of individual flower, it's going to make up with, I hope, in a proliferation of flowers. The blackberry bushes are doing well, although this one got a little bit, it was vertical, and it got a little bit unsinged. We had a windstorm that came through, but I think it's doing fine. As long as it's not on the ground, I'm kind of okay with that, although I'm sure the mowers would appreciate it to be upright. I do need to come out at some point here. There are a few more beans along the fence line that are ready for picking, but I think by and large the bean days are over. They're starting to get kind of shrivelly and brown and just not looking good. Oops, there's one that went all the way dark. That's probably not a good sign. And then the peas. These peas are still going, and they're still making fruit, and they're still making flowers, which is really cool. So slow and steady on the pea front. So that's the backyard. Oh, and then let me show you. I mean, this is, this amazes me every year how fast the tomatoes grow, but these tomatoes have been in the ground for 3 weeks. In the first 2 weeks, like nothing happened. And of course, nothing happened above ground because their roots were getting going. But now they are just going everywhere. And I definitely need to get out here in the next week or so and give them some kind of support. I did give them, you guys can see there's a white stick in there just because it kept listing to one side. So that's propping it up more or less vertical. But it definitely needs to be actually propped up. And I also need to come out and get the onions. The onions are starting to flop over and come out of the ground, swell out of the ground, which is pretty exciting actually. This is a really good example here. You can see it's swelling out of the ground. I don't know if it's supposed to do that, but that's what it's doing. And our pepper plant is doing well. Our bok choy is doing well, although it keeps shading out baby bok choy, which is trying to grow underneath there. Our broccoli though, y'all, I think, well, is half a lost cause. So this is really exciting. Those, I believe, are broccoli heads. I'm hoping those are broccoli heads. So it's weeks after this was supposed to have fruited, if that's what you can say for a brassica. But this one, I think, has just gone to flower. There's nothing going on there. And this is the bed where I've tried unsuccessfully so far to plant 2 rounds of basil. So I definitely need to spend some time out here. I probably just need to pull that out as much as it pains me and see if we can get some basil going in here, or maybe we just put some basil in there instead. I'm not sure. So that is the backyard. Oh, no, it's not the backyard. I forgot to show you guys the patio garden. Here's our patio garden. I have finally moved them under the patio cover because the mint family things, especially, it was just way, and the lettuce, it was way too much direct sun once it hit above 85 consistently. So fear not. I know they look a little bit limpy here in the back. That's just because they need to absorb the water I just gave them. This is one of our lettuces, and actually our other 2 lettuces are growing really well. This one seems to be more stalk than leaf, but as long as it's alive, it's 95 degrees. It's supposed to hit 100 here in about 4 or 5 days, so I think that's pretty good. And of all of the marigolds that we planted, we have 4. We have 3 really nice ones. That one, that one, that one, and then this tiny ass little one over here that keeps getting nibbled off at the top. I don't know what's happening to it, but it's still around. The 2 catnips are fine, and our rescue catnip is recovering nicely. Again, I didn't do anything to it. I just let nature sort itself out, and it's flowering and it's growing new growth, which is awesome. Our herb bed is looking a little bit worse for wear. That back there is the dead rosemary, but even so, the sage is in the process of renewing itself after flowering, and the oregano is doing the same. So I think I read somewhere that herb beds should be refreshed every once in a while, and because that's an enclosed system, it's not getting a whole lot of nutrients. I probably need to come out here and give it some nutrients. But I think I've decided the problem is time. I'm working really long hours right now on a variety of projects, so I think I've decided to take the week of the 4th off from one of the time-consuming projects. I can, and do some of this garden stuff. So that'll be not this coming week, but the next week. On the plus side, the sunflowers we planted here on the east fence are doing well. Not as well as I would have expected, honestly. You'll see when we get, these are the same varieties that are in the front, and I would have assumed with all the sun back here that they would be just going like anything, but they're pretty slow to start. This I'm excited about. One of our neighbors in Tulsa Remote got a complete dump truck full of wood chips, and I have been very excited to figure out what to do with that again on that week off the big project and use that around the garden. So, front yard, I think all things considered, post derecho, we're doing okay. You know, some stuff has, there were some casualties, but by and large, everything seems to be pretty well back up. One of the casualties, which seems to be just fine this way, is this guy who does not want to stay up at all, and I don't have a way to prop him up. So hopefully they will mow around him, because he's perfectly happy. Totally horizontal, as are some of the ones in the back. Yeah, they're all flowering. This one over here, I think is permanently going to be knocked over, and it's just decided that's fine. It's going to shoot its little heads off here. Look at that tiny little one down there. And then the forest, which is a lot more see-through than it was previously, is also actually doing well. You guys can see as I walk around, there's some blue rope in here. holding up some bunches of stalks. So not quite as uniform and prolific as it was, but it's not bad. And then this is really exciting. Our sunflower forest is blooming. You guys can see. Oops, maybe I shouldn't have opened the garage before I started filming. But they've all done well. Some of them, like this one, are permanently horizontal, but that's fine. They're all doing well, and many of them are growing heads, even though this one is, what, 1.5 feet tall, it's growing a head. That one's about 3 feet tall, it's growing a head. So it's not going to be quite the lush jungle. This one opened. I was out here yesterday, and I noticed it was going to open, but it opened. Look at that. Look at how delicate that is. It's not quite the lush jungle that I imagined, but you know, all things considered, it's not bad. Ooh, look at that one. Look at that one. Can you guys see that in the shade? Oh, hello, rabbit. Sorry to disturb you. Yeah, look at that. They're definitely doing much better down here on the end. I think it's because this end gets more sunlight. But look. Ugh. And our zinnia, our one lone zinnia here is still doing fine. But then again, in the middle, you have this little tiny one that's just never grown any bigger. So I guess it's something of a crapshoot, but that one is doing well. There's a couple buds on that one. So, and this one is actually taller than I am. It's the only one that's even approaching the size of its brethren over there. So, post the derecho, I would say things are doing well. We're definitely past planting season until those onions come out. So it's really fun to come out here. Every few days there seems to be something new, a new variation of sunflower. Those butterfly weeds in the back were new a couple days ago. New sweet peas opening. It's pretty exciting, actually. The planting is not my favorite part, to be honest with you. It's a lot of work and then you have to wait, but the rewards for waiting are certainly worth it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this garden tour. I hope you are having a great day, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye for now.